actually on. This is,
so-
I think, what some people tune into.
Is
They're
to
like,
see
let's find out how
whether they're
long
gonna
they'll
find out
talk
whether
without
they're
knowing they're
on
broadcasting,
or not.
and then as soon as they know they're broadcasting, I tune out.
'Cause
Why not? I appreciate a
Why would
viewer
you-
for
why
whatever
would
it
you
is you
care?
want. The kind people at Ari's Tavern appreciate your viewership and sponsorship. 56 in Pecos over here in fantastic Denver. God, did I
56.
have a delicious Ari's burger.
Oh man, was it great?
On Friday night. Yeah, you know,
56,
you can get avocado in
86
there.
Pecos. You are so right.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why I'm not seeing the preview. Chuck is killing me.
Oh,
It's
buddy.
killing me.
Are we,
But-
did you check Maria? Did you text Maria?
Yeah, we always got to do that. That's our thing. But I should be able to do this without her. I'm a grown man, but I never can.
What is it? What's the end goal of what you
Talk
want
to-
to have happen right now?
I want to be able to see us
You want to see us?
streaming, because that tells us that see right there. That
Yeah.
says we're not on.
Oh, that really frustrates me.
That says we're not online. That says
When
we're
I do
just,
that, I get that with the model railroad.
we're back to
I'm
just
online, and then it says I'm
podcasting
not.
now, because we wouldn't be pushing out any video. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
So I'll make sure this is on.
No, we want online.
And we want to be
Live.
online. We are, and it's updating, and there it says we are.
We're checking the preview, everybody.
We are checking the stream.
And Eugene is frustrated. This is what happens when you're your own producer. You go, I checked all the boxes. This
the
is supposed to come out right.
All the boxes say we should be working.
Haley Driscoll, do you have family watching
Yeah.
right now? while
I
you're-
Or
have
trying to
no
watch.
idea. I
Did-
think
did you
maybe.
post this on the Facebook?
I did post it on the
Hello,
Facebook.
Facebook people. who
Hi,
watch
Facebook
too.
friends.
Folks,
Hello,
we're a brand
Facebook
new
friends,
show,
and-
and we have a video system. That's the keyboard you see in front of you. The bald-headed man in the beige jacket
That's
is
me, Eugene Kenny. How are
Eugene
you?
Kenny is the host,
Yeah.
and what he's trying to find out right now is, are we
Whether or
actually
not
streaming?
we are on
Can you hear it?
the air.
So
All
what
right,
I'm going
then
to do
I'm gonna skip
is
off that.
I'm going
and
to
go on my
host
phone.
the show and
Test.
assume we're on the air.
Say hi to
Okay.
Haley.
Yeah.
He does what he does.
All right.
Sure.
I'm getting something from the booth. Yep, move on with the interview with Haley.
Okay.
Yeah, okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Haley, you're a fine young comedian.
Welcome. Thank you so much for
Welcome
coming.
Yeah.
to
Yes.
Euge Show. You did
Thank
our
you.
show when we were at a previous network
That's true.
that also struggled to go on the air.
Exactly
So
right.
it's not,
Exactly right.
We're in a better spot today.
So,
So I've had a little bit of the conversation with you, but we'll start fresh.
Yeah. Yeah.
You like to tell jokes.
I do like to tell jokes.
I see you at the joke telling spot.
That's where I like to
What
go.
kind of joke telling spot did I see you at the other night?
Well, I saw you at Epilogue Comedy, which is at Mutiny.
What were you doing there?
I was just hanging out, just seeing the show. Timmy's a good friend of mine, and I'm going to be doing Timmy Lastly.
Yeah, okay.
She runs that show at the Mutiny. And she asked me to do a show at El Chorrito on Wednesday with Ben Kronberg and Ben Roy and Jordan Dahl. So I figured I'd come out and support her other shows. I should do that anyway without incentive.
That's what I wanted to get at was when you're brand new as an open mic comic, some people get lost in the camaraderie
Right.
and such. Or some people, like the headliner that night, Troy Walker, get in the back of rooms like that and study and observe. So
Right.
it seemed like you were there with a purpose, and I having walked in the middle of the show, wasn't sure if you were on the lineup or not, but
No, not that
so
one.
just there supporting.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, supporting.
that was an interesting show to observe.
It
too.
was.
I hung out. I wasn't gonna. I was kind of, I was near some favorite bars of mine.
Yep.
So
it's a good night?
yeah, and why would I hang out in a bookshop and listen to, rookies tell jokes? But it was a good show.
I
it
know
was
you
a
enjoyed
book
it,
shop.
'cause you told me about
Obviously,
it.
I love being in a
I know you
bookshop.
had. Yeah, I know you had a good time. You told me about it. So.
Yeah, I got real work done.
Yeah.
I guess what I want to get at is some of your family, having seen us talk before and stuff, maybe they don't get it. Why are you giving up a Saturday night?
Yeah. Well, I started doing theater from a real young age. Pretty much, I've always been into it. and I went to CU Boulder for the BFA program, and
Okay.
I really wanted to do Broadway and stuff, and I let them know that I was going to have a weird artist life from the get-go.
Sure.
And when I was in high school, I started to do improv, and I actually still do improv at Madcap Improv Theater.
Oh yeah, I want to talk to you about that for sure.
Yeah. So they've always been pretty supportive. They wanted me to get a college degree and have a day job.
Okay.
That pays
We're going
money.
to talk about that. But first, comedically, do you think there's anything different about the positioning of your headphones box? Eugene and I are so stressed about the camera angles and everything.
God.
I'm trying to get us to calm down. Eugene is wrapped up in trying to see if we're actually broadcast. We could just be podcasting. This may not be going anywhere. It doesn't matter.
Sure,
It's a nice conversation with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So first, this is what I want to drive at. We often talk a little bit about the money in comedy, especially with new acts. And we'll all everybody will tell you how the money doesn't matter for key things. And so I don't know, how do you quantify the value of something like being, I wasn't getting paid, I don't think. I don't remember getting paid to be at the bookstore comedy thing.
You weren't.
What's the value in it?
That's hard because, I actually, when I did improv, when I graduated college, I went to LA for a little bit, and I tried to see if I could do improv for money in LA.
Yeah.
And I learned that nobody gets paid to do improv in LA, and that's kind of like a type of thing, unless you're teaching.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, this sucks. Like, I love not telling jokes, but like being able to do weird characters and make people laugh. And
theater people get beat up the most. Like having, I moved here with Will and Grace and Third Rock from the Sun on my credit. There's no reason for me to get into theater here in Denver. I'd have to be at the Denver Center, and that's a level of acting that I would have to really delve into in order to get to. I have no idea what they get paid to be in those starring productions. I assume it's diddly.
Yeah.
But what I find in most theater houses, like people who put on plays at little dinner theaters, a lot of them do that for free.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And with 3 months of rehearsals, and so we do this for art, and we do this for life. But I also notice how it wears on my friends in theater.
Right.
So why do you do this?
I do it. I love it. I love being on stage. I've always loved being on stage, and it's been hard writing jokes and coming from improv, but I'm learning to like it more. And I find it just to be like a catharsis, a sort of like healing experience. Not all the time, but when it goes well, even when it doesn't too, it's just a really like kind of empowering growth experience, and it's constantly like when you can make a connection with someone and they get it, it's the coolest
Do you have an
thing.
example of a moment where you just came off and went, oh my God, that just flowed out, or
yeah, it's the best. I haven't had like a ton, but but the ones that I have, like have made me want to come back.
Right.
And
you get hooked on it. It's like,
and now obviously I'm not really getting paid to do. I've been paid for like maybe 6 or 7 stand-up shows.
that's a great time to do the plug for Ari's Tavern, because we are one of the only rooms here in town that we pay the open micers that come down here to do this gig, because I really want to teach the comics at a young age the value of what they do.
Yeah.
I don't want you to have to give it away, because it's a valuable business. I mean, if people understood that without the comic, you just have overpriced drinks and shitty food.
Right.
Yeah, and that's why I don't get it on a theater level. And I wonder, you say you got a degree?
Yeah.
Why?
BFA.
So bring it home to my dad. Like, what did they ever tell you in your degree program what you might be making for money?
No, they avoided that like viciously.
It's the most untalked about thing in the arts
Yeah.
today. Except,
About-
you know, maybe last week that changed.
Well, I think I think that money's coming into the conversation here in Denver. I mean, I think that it's unavoidable. It's, you know, you're no longer. When I got into the business, for me to drive from here to Colorado Springs to do a gig for free, I'm $1.35 into the
gas.
gig. Into the gig.
Yeah.
Period,
Now
you
you're
know?
talking $50
Now,
in gas.
Now, you know, if I'm driving to Colorado Springs, you got to pay. You know, I'm 75 miles round trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's a different thing. I mean, that's not a cheap gig anymore.
I'm
That's
going to
not a
bring
cheap
something
ride.
else in, and this might sound weird on how to relate, but it's the value of that laugh. In talking to a few people within the last 48 hours, probably to this morning's TV radio interview, the subject matter of my 1 hour special, the opening line is just essentially, I want to tell you what my dad said when I came out of the closet.
Yeah.
And it's had me reflect a lot about all the mean moments in telling my little gay jokes. You know, the moments where crowds turned instantly and made me feel small.
Right.
It was worth it to come back and try again. Mm-hmm. So the net feeling or reward from gaining laughter is usurps the value of being told bigoted things and told to leave.
Yeah.
And so, I know we speak of money and stuff, but there's something incredibly unvalued, like invalued,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
for what it is to gain the laughter.
Totally, absolutely. It's a healing process. Like I've gotten more and more comfortable to talk about real things that have happened to me that were like incredibly embarrassing.
How about an example?
I talk about how the first time a guy went down on me,
Okay. Yeah.
I put cinnamon like on my vagina.
Oh my God.
And because I was so embarrassed, I was like, this
Yeah.
can't be right. Like this
Right.
can't be okay.
Sure.
Like
sure.
I was so nervous, and I'm getting more and more like I've just kind of touched on the surface of that. Because like I kind of end it with like a joke that's not like super sincere of how it made me feel later, but it was nice to be able to talk about that first experience and how uncomfortable I was and still kind of am with my body.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. This weekend I took a chance and did jokes about, like, you know, I lock up when I pee. You know, so if a man comes to the urinal next to me, that's just, I'm done. You know, God forbid it be at a show and they're like, hey dude, you're really funny. And then you're just like,
Yeah.
And I've never wanted to speak of that.
Yeah.
And never been like, what's the funny thing about that? But then, you know, I gave it some thought and found it's not just it's the catharsis of it.
Yeah.
It's the other. I didn't know if that happens to girls, so I just honestly asked the audience if that happened, and the girl was like, and you know, I felt like I passed on like what would be maybe my bravery. It's not brave to bring up you can't pee, but I at least put the courage in her lap where she can't pee.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because it turned her from being shy and embarrassed to being like, at least she was stronger to admit.
Right.
You know, than others who might be still sitting there going, I can't pee now.
Yeah.
I still can't pee.
Yeah, it makes you feel less alone, and when you can relate to the person who's like unabashed talking about something that really embarrassed them or scared them.
The sum total change between my act in 3 weeks, 8 weeks has been moving things like, you know, a dramatic moment.
Right.
And maybe as an actress, I'm loving the drama when I go, I want to tell you what my father said to me.
Right.
When I came out of that closet. And you could just
Yeah, everybody.
all pull in. Even the ones who were like, this was uninteresting. And it made me think, the reason I want to move that to the front is living rooms. If you're doing a 1 hour special, somebody is walking through the living room on their way to the kitchen
Right.
and you got to make them sit down.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you know, I was like, that sentence is going to make someone turn around and go, what are you watching?
Right.
Right. What's going on with you?
Yeah, you know,
Right.
so there's no school for that kind of stuff. I think that's why we like doing this show, is we get to, you know, I get to kick around what I'm working on
Totally.
and then try to share it with somebody else and see what, you know, what it comes back.
Right.
So what are you working on?
Right now, I'm actually I'm working on just saying brand new jokes at open mics that I just came up with, like in the past
moment?
week.
Okay.
Not in the moment, that I'm learning that's scarier than I thought it would.
The moment will tell you what. Yeah. The moment will take
I
your
thought
breath
it would
away
be way
sometimes.
easier because of my improv,
Oh, yeah?
but it's
Oh,
Yeah.
tell me
No.
about it.
not, because
It's a
when
different
you
animal. It's
yeah,
it's
when you're in
completely different.
improv, you're like a character. You're not yourself. You're not your voice. You can be a character and not really
Right.
say exactly what you think.
Yeah.
And then you can be done with it. Like you can change. Like the scene is over, or you're like, I don't want to be this character anymore. But when you're up there, you're like, I'm Haley, and I hope you like me. And if they don't like your made up stuff, they're like,
They're really honest.
Remember the first time we talked to Haley?
Yeah.
And discovered that she was the girl in the commercial.
Oh, yeah.
For the
What is it?
Goodwill.
Goodwill.
Oh,
Yeah.
do the scene again. We had you do the scene before, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Wait,
Miss.
let me see if
Oh,
this-
do you have
Hey,
it?
Put your finger on that slider right there under the white button. You see the last slider?
Yeah.
All right. If this is too loud, I want you to bring it down. Okay.
Sure. Bring it down for me, fellas. This is you.
This is, no, not her yet.
Yeah, I'm at the very end. They played this for 2 years.
That's a nice paycheck, right?
Yeah. There I am.
Miss, you forgot your change.
There she is.
Just with the wig in my hand somehow.
Hey, Gray. Hey, Gray.
This is my big break.
Oh,
This is my big break.
I played that for a couple of years. Huh? That was nice. That was nice.
Yeah.
How do you get something like this for the kids at home?
How'd that come around? How did that come apart?
I'm with a talent agency actually called Radical Talent.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's over on First and Broadway, right by that Goodwill.
Oh, okay.
And they just call me when they want a cute blonde girl with dimples. And
They say they're shooting next door. Go over there now.
yeah,
Did you
yeah.
audition?
I did audition for that.
And
Yeah,
there's
And you
a
go
room
in-
full of cute blonde girls. Yeah.
I was in a big pool of.
Tell us about that. Like, did you always go up for a cute blonde girl and then?
Pretty much, yeah. For a while, I had a really crappy headshot, and I looked like a mom. Like I looked way older, and my hair, for some reason, my hair made me look like a mom. And then
Okay.
I'd show up,
Okay.
and then I wouldn't get cast for anything because
Because you turned out to be too young.
way too young.
Wow. Okay.
Wow, that's the one time you don't want to hear. Oh, you look too young.
right,
Yeah.
right.
I know Ian Bagg out of. We would do auditions in LA all the time. I feel for him because I was 375 pounds, and he was smaller than I am now. I'm 280. You know, so. He was always getting sent in for these fat guy parts, and I'd see him at the Improv, and so I knew he was a comic.
And the fatter, the better in that situation.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so I was like, first of all, you're not fat. Like, why are you always in?
Husky.
I guess I don't know. He's just funny. He's just
Yeah.
funny, but that's really how our friendship developed. Is I would see him at fat guy audition after fat guy audition, then the Improv, and finally. At one place or the other, I went, I'm Chuck. And so we've been friends ever since, or in that way, like just, polite colleagues or whatever. But
Yeah.
almost like I don't want to know someone for that reason.
Right.
I'd be able to walk into a commercial casting zone and they'd be doing all kinds of commercials, and I'd just have to look for the other 8 fat guys.
Yeah, I used to walk into a whole lot of places, and they'd be the black guys there.
Yeah.
A room full of black guys, you know. It's like, hey, what's up?
If people want to ask, like, why is it like that today? Simply put, because TV doesn't stop. They don't ever stop with this whole, you're your stereotype, be your stereotype. We can only imagine people by their stereotype.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I think that's why
Oh, yeah.
one of the reasons people are running away from TV in droves. People are going to find what they want to find on the internet, or wherever they find it.
Yeah, because Netflix doesn't
Yeah.
they look at what you watch.
Here's the thing.
They're not like, oh, you're a girl, you're signed on. You're gonna like Pink, no matter. We're gonna girls and princesses, because
They
if you
love
keep watching
Pink.
construction and trucks, Netflix is gonna show
it's
you.
like, I don't know how they do it, but they're
trucks.
never wrong. They send me things, and I'll go, there's no way in the world I would like that. And then I look at it, I'm like, oh my God, I just watched that. It was amazing. They're like, well, everybody else who watched that movie said you like it. So, and they were right. I guess that algorithm was absolutely correct.
Hulu does a pretty good job of it.
Do they?
Yeah, watch one show, it suggests an alternative.
Yeah.
That I'm like,
Yeah.
but now I'm hooked on this, and it keeps repeating the 2.
Right.
You like this one, maybe. So I watched the 2 that I haven't seen of my show.
Right.
Then I'm still up, and they're like, maybe one more, Bear.
You want it.
How about a mystery?
I'm exactly the same. I am exactly the same.
I would like that with beer.
Yeah.
Dude, that's such a great idea.
You like that fat tire? How about one of these?
It just shows up.
Dude, there should be an app that says that. Put in your.
They generally
put in
call
your
it a
beer.
bartender.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm married to one of those. She would know that.
Yeah.
That's why.
It's like,
They do that right on.
Don't ask for the fat tire with such fervor
Yeah.
that the bartender's like, okay.
All right, whatever.
I'll
Yeah.
never get that wrong again. Haley, do you drink?
I do drink. Yeah.
Single? Can the boys at home?
Oh, no,
well,
not
no.
single.
I happen to know that Haley is not single.
Sorry, fellas.
Haley,
Fellas, I thought there was an in for you. I tried.
you know how we talked about a few episodes ago that comics aren't dateable. You know how why you shouldn't date a comic. It was just a little thing we went over that I saw online. Why you shouldn't date a comic.
Oh, yeah. We're all psychopaths.
Yeah, we're all psychopaths
Yeah.
and whatnot. Haley is dating a comic.
I
Haley
am.
is in a relationship with another comic, and a very good comic,
I'm
too.
sorry your career was so
Can I say the
bad.
comic's name? Is that
Yeah, that's
David
fine.
Carter.
Chris Charpentier? Is,
Yeah.
Wow, your career's
Yeah,
that bad?
It's pretty bad.
Chris is going to be doing the show here at Ari's Tavern. When is that? The 8th.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Hey,
so
do you need help
yeah,
with the
he's gonna be on
booking?
the
I'll
set.
get you some good comics.
No, we're good.
I'm teasing. He's really funny. Obviously, I love him.
It's going to be Chris and
Yeah.
Timmy Day. Should be a nice set.
Oh, nice.
And Timmy.
Yes, you don't need
And
help.
Timmy.
Me and Timmy's going to do some
Right
stuff.
on.
Yeah, so that
Perfect.
should be a great show.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. So, where are you from? I mean, what?
I grew up pretty much in Arvada, right down.
Right here in Colorado?
Yep, right here in Colorado.
Homegrown girl. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Where are you going?
Where am I going?
Yeah, you're looking to stay here? What are you? You're gonna marry Chris and y'all gonna tie your wagons together?
I'm gonna propose to him live.
All right, here we go. That's your camera, Chris.
No.
I'm helping him.
But Los Angeles is a goal
Really?
that I've always.
You tried that once before?
I did try that before with the
Yeah.
improv thing, and then I had no idea what I was doing with the improv thing.
Any ideas how you gonna make a go of it this time?
I don't know. I've only been doing the stand-up thing for a little over a year, so I'd like to keep doing it, building time that works.
Well, tell me
And
something
then-
here. Within the first of all, what got you on stage to do stand up? I mean, what pulled you?
Well, I actually did it with a with a group of improv people who were like, "Ooh, it would be fun to try stand up in front of all our friends and family," and
Never a good idea.
no, but it was like a false ego boost because it was only friends and family.
Right, exactly.
And so we did a show. We booked out the Impulse for like 4 shows, and we were like, we're the best, we're hilarious. So, and then I was like, maybe I should go do open mics since I'm so good at this. Like, I'm so good. And then I went to Three Kings open mic with Nathan Lund.
Woke up.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, okay. But it wasn't terrifying because I've been on stage a bunch, and I kind of knew that it was.
So when you're doing like the Three Kings set, and you're doing, basically it's you and a room full of comics.
Yeah.
Doing stand up for each other. Do you learn anything there? I mean, do you? Yeah,
it depends. It's kind of some mics. It just depends on the night, and like I feel like I get more out of it some nights than others. If just people are more attentive, or if I have not been drinking too much. Like I've definitely gone out and have been last and have waited and like an hour and a half, and I've already.
Like, oh my God, I had 4 beers.
Yeah, and then I don't remember it at all. I'm like, why did I do that? Why did I do that at all? So it really depends on how focused I am, how prepared I am to do new jokes and stuff. I've been trying to get a lot better about actually preparing.
And what is that like? What is your preparation?
Just having my little notebook and making sure I try like at least like 2 new jokes, and trying to write a set list, like an actual set list that I'm going to try out, and sticking to it.
Right.
Because when I first started, I would be like, oh, I'm just gonna like improv jokes, or like do the same old thing that wasn't even working just because I know how to say it.
Okay.
So
exactly.
Now I'm just trying to like actually do a set list with 2 new jokes and a few old jokes that have worked, and see if they sound well together and record it.
Where do you put those 2 new jokes?
I try and put them more towards the end. That's what I've been told to
Why?
do. I don't know. I'm told like right off the bat you should hook them with something that's good.
Okay.
That you know will work, and then maybe throw it in the middle or close to the end.
I used to. I've heard the same thing, but I watched Norm Macdonald. Norm Macdonald is like, I want to come out and make a crater, and I'm gonna stand in it, and then I'm gonna dig myself out of it. You know, and he'll come out and do 5-6 minutes, and people are going, Is this a set? Is he telling jokes? He's just telling stories, And then he'll dig himself out of that, and by the time he gets off stage, people are crying.
Right.
I know it's easier as a comic. It's easier in your head to go, hey, bam, I got him with a little something. Now let me throw this in here because they already like me.
Right.
But I think that it's you get more of an honest opinion if you just throw it out there.
Yeah.
If you just put the joke out there up front, because if the person in front of you if he didn't just die, if he didn't just eat it to death.
Sure.
You just come out there and put the joke up front, and I think it works just the same. I know that in your head it's harder to do, but once you do it a couple of times, I think you'll start doing that, because I used to put my new stuff in the middle or closer to the end, but now I just throw them in there. What do I care? It's my set.
Right.
I can't not tell you these jokes. These are the jokes that came out. These are the jokes that are going to happen. I can't not tell you that. So you grew up here in Arvada? I'm sorry, did I almost said Aurora, did I? Oh, excuse me.
I don't care.
Yeah, that was crazy, right?
White chocolate.
Yeah. Did you get your call in?
Yeah, late. I was late, so.
That's all right. Let's go. He had to call the Uncle Nasty show to, I'm sorry, was that the?
Just to follow up an on-air appearance, but I just missed it.
Yeah, did you miss it? Shit.
By 15 minutes.
Oh, sorry. You were having such a good time talking to him.
For the young comedians out there, the one excuse you could ever have to miss a radio interview is because you're in the middle of your own show.
Exactly. Thank you.
And so I'm 2 for 3 on radio interviews. They already got me pre-taped. It was just if I could call in and say hello to the lawyer.
Gotcha. We're
super exciting. Haley, have you ever done radio?
No. Nope.
Okay.
I've not done radio.
I grew up wanting to be a...
I know I stepped out of the conversation for a bit, but I wanted to find out a little bit more. I like to ask the questions I think your family at home might want to know.
So first of all, why are you dating Chris?
Yeah. How about someone taller and with money? What?
I like this. I'll tell you
How
what.
can we help you
Chris has got
with
a
a
day
game
job.
plan
Chris
for
is doing
LA?
okay.
You know, that's what I hear your next move might be.
I'm sorry, I talked all over that. What was that?
She has time to make a move to LA. So how can we help her? What are the questions? He lived there. I live there.
Yeah.
And how can we? What do you think you might be having for a plan? You must have some thoughts if you're pointed towards LA.
I want to go to LA within. Do you have a time frame? A lot of people do.
Tell us the dream.
I don't. I guess 2 or 3 years, maybe.
Okay. Yeah. You're telling me right answers because it's your dream.
Right. Right.
I can't. I could tell you a lot of suggestions what you could do right now and stuff. But first, I want to find out what was the goal in the first place.
Right.
If you got there, and everything happened, what would a few of the everythings be?
Well, I don't know. It's hard for me to have that super optimist mentality. I guess because I lived out there for a little while, and I know.
No,
I lived out there for like 8 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got to walk towards the part that belongs to you. So what's the part? There are roles for you if they exist. If you went and asked the world by getting a master's, or a degree in acting, and then you keep pursuing it, and you're going to go to LA and try, if you ask the world for the right things, you'll get the opportunity to try for them.
Right.
I'm quoting my favorite political talk show. Them saying, if you walk towards this table, you will get here. What roles would it be? Sitcoms or like film? I assume stand up at some clubs. Good luck doing that in LA. But, do you want to tour and play funny bones and improvs and be a famous stand-up comedian, or do you want to be a famous sitcom actress?
I'm sure I would go out there and try and do acting stuff. If I got some sort of sitcom role, that would be awesome.
Sure.
I would love to be able to do more of the stand-up and get in that scene and be able to actually get on big shows and make some money in that way. It's all, I don't know, it's all so blurry at this point. I don't know, because again, I feel like I haven't been doing it for very long, and so talking about really defined goals doesn't make a ton of sense to me.
Sure.
Because I see people, I'm meeting more people and seeing people who becoming friends with people who do stand up in LA and who do improv in LA, and seeing what they do, and it's all really shiny and appealing to me and new and I don't really know the steps to take yet, or exactly what my ideal goal would be.
I feel like a lot of times people, because there are maybe no answers in their head, they can focus on the shiny stuff and then just ignore the
practical stuff.
The practical stuff.
Right.
Excuse me. I do think you can actually, set goals and prepare.
Yeah.
And it is something where if you're not going to go out there to be a magician, then we can rule out studying to be a magician between here and then.
Right.
You would know the path of what you can do as far as an actress goes here, and while you're here in Denver, you can learn how to walk into little coffee shops like the one we did.
Right.
It's probably going to be more the location of your most successful and bigger, more important stand-up shows in LA now. As I understand it, the clubs really aren't affording the spot where your agent's going to want to send people to see you if you get to that point.
Right.
So that's why I wanted to bring up a little bit of preparing, because it lets us talk about how the scene has shifted from when Eugene and I were there, and you'd want to play the A-list room, so your A managers would want you there, so that
Yeah, it was a whole different animal. When I was in the business, it was people came to see the club. You know, when I hardly ever anybody I was coming up. When I was coming up, hardly ever anybody left the club going, you know, he was funny, and then the next question is, who was he? You know, what was his name? And they would say, I don't know. At some point, mid 80s, early 90s, it shifted from being a comic-driven business to a comedy club-driven business. The club became the draw. Like, let's go to the Improv and see whoever's on the Improv stage. Let's go to the Comedy Works and see whoever's on the Comedy Works stage, which gives all the power to the clubs. When the power shouldn't be at the clubs. I mean, the reason people are coming is because your art, what you do. You know, the reason that the butts are in the seat, you know? And so I think that people are trying to change that. I think that the young people that are putting their own shows together and stuff are changing that right now.
Chris just went through LA.
Yeah.
And he's more of an example of what people in your generation, I mean, I'm learning what his trip to LA was. That's
I actually went with
research and
him.
development in this town.
What did
So
you think
tell
of
me
it?
about
What did you think of that?
Where did he go to the Improv of the Laugh Factory or the Comedy Store?
He did the Josh and Josh show, which I can't remember where that was. He did the Meltdown as well, which was at the Nerd Melt.
Okay.
But did you witness the interior of the Improv or any of the comedy clubs?
Just the Josh and Josh show.
And was that where?
And the Meltdown. The Meltdown is a comic book store.
Okay.
With a little theater in the back.
Okay.
All right.
So that's not a comedy club. That's a
see-
comic
Well,
book store. That's a comedy show and
Right.
I guess my point is
They have their
is
own
that-
like comedy venue. It's an actual like stage. It looks kind of like the Impulse.
Okay.
But it is tucked behind like a comic book store.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
They call that a paradigm shift. When we were
Do they?
in the industry, you know, when we were over on CNBC, on Bloomberg, they call that a paradigm shift. The industry has changed. The clubs may have been the power center, but I'm headed to LA in April. And I'm not really looking. I'm going to call Aaron Von Schoenfeld, see if I can't swing by the Improv to go see old friends. I am calling Chris Charpentier to find out what stage can I be on to be in front of people who are like podcast relevant, like people who get on a podcast, tell other comedy fans, I saw this guy, the Bear, last night. You know, that is what you do when you go to LA now. You try to get meet people who have podcasts and do shows like the one you're doing.
Yeah, Chris, well, he just knows he's friends with a ton of people who run big shows. Like Josh Androsky had a show with Maria Bamford that Chris was on.
Okay.
And I missed that one. But
Why? What were you doing? Why weren't you standing by your man? Where the hell were you?
I wasn't in LA.
Oh. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you were there. All right. Never mind.
And then there's Alan Strickland Williams and Jake Weissman, who they have their little group who does the women comedy shorts, which are hilarious, and they put those online, and they're like little 5-minute videos.
Up on YouTube or?
On YouTube,
really?
yeah, and they're so funny, and they just make these little like funny shorts. That,
Who are they? Say them again. I'm gonna look this up.
they're called Women. That's what their group is called, and it's they just come out with these hilarious videos. I think it's five dudes, and they remind me of Kids in the Hall. They're so funny.
I love
and
Kids in
David
the Hall.
Ross, and so they have a podcast. Dave Ross has one called Terrified, which Chris was actually on. That's how they like put that on there whenever they get booked on a show. They're like from Women, because they make these little videos and stuff.
Okay.
And so me and Christy Buckley are actually trying to get into making little comedy videos. And
It's the next thing.
I saw
My
Christy.
friend-
We just worked together the other night, Saturday night, by the way.
Okay.
Just don't
Christy
wanna
is
interrupt
telling
you.
super good
Oh my
jokes
God,
right
Yeah.
she killed it.
Yeah.
I love the story she's telling about being raised
I
by a
guess
single
this-
dad. Oh my Lord.
provides an answer
That's
to
so funny.
the question.
Yes.
As you go to LA, they're going to ask you, what do you have on YouTube? What's on Facebook? And how many followers do you have? I don't think that's the future. I think it's just what they're asking right now. And so creatively, what do you think you're going to do on YouTube? That's exciting stuff. It's, I think, what you should do for business, but it's wicked fun.
Right.
It's wicked fun.
Yeah.
And it seems like everything's been done. So how are you going to?
With the, I don't know. It's just, the women's sketches are great because they just have these super strange, weird ideas that catch your attention instantaneously, just like in a little 5-minute video. So I like to just come up with a premise that will catch your attention, either just how weird it is or how unique it is just in that first like 30 seconds of watching it. And then that'll get people to like, I feel like that's huge, just like Facebook and Twitter,
Right.
and that's how people will like recognize that you do funny stuff even if they haven't seen your stand-up.
Yeah,
or
that's for sure. That's for sure.
and they
I
can
think
see your
that
acting skills.
A lot of that
Yeah.
helps to take back the power too. I mean, if you can get your voice to the audience without someone else between you
Yes.
and them, then you cut out the middleman right there. And what's the guy's name? Josh, the guy that does Josh. Anyway, I'll figure his name out. But he proved that you can just fill up the room with your
Oh
Facebook.
yeah, I know who you're saying. Yeah.
That
Well,
if you've got enough likes, you can
I
come in and fill
saw
up any
the
room
path
anywhere you
for.
want.
I saw the path for people like Eugene. Eugene has kids. Still, 4 more years of college. Like, he didn't give a shit about moving on. He's into this stuff. We love this stuff. And doing, having a show and conversing with a person.
Yeah.
And we're even going to figure out how to do it live.
One day. But when Chris, or when Chris right now, say for instance, he's the hot act going to LA and picking up all these people following him. When he retweets something he says or I say, if he retweets that you're on this show, that puts Eugene, Kenny, and I, old farts, back in the young skinny kids' jeans game.
Right?
It's what's so fun. It used to be folks like me and him were the gatekeepers to the club in LA. I'll get you in. And now it's us old folks having to ask the young kids, like, can you recommend me
Here's the
for a
thing.
podcast in a cartoon shop with a...
I really, that's the one of the things that I love about doing this show, man, is that I love talking to comics. I love talking to young comics that are trying to do stuff, trying to change the world, wanting to do it, and trying to change the world. I really love talking to young comics, and it just happened to make me relevant. It's just, I don't know why that happened, but it's like, wow, I suddenly young comics are like, hey, EUGE, what's up? And
This show this show fell into our lap previously and was extremely fun to do.
We
within
hated it
minutes.
when they killed us.
When
oh
they
my
killed,
God.
when they took it away from us, we were so like, what
Oh my God.
is gonna?
It took me 8 months to go. I mean, I started thinking the day that they turned it off, I loved it so much, I started thinking, I wonder if I can do this by myself without people between. I'll just call them people because without people, without people have the power to shut it off.
Right.
And we can figure it out. It took 8 months to get it back on the air, but almost a year to get it back on the air. But for research, development, and getting all the cameras and what we have, it took about a year. And now we're here to stay. That's our equipment. The only reason they're going to shut us off is if we don't pay the bills.
Sure.
So,
but we got to.
We love this.
This is what I want to have as a conversation with you every time we sit at this table. Is
You should do a show for
your
us.
family?
Yeah.
Like I don't know your family at all. I just know, they might see me on occasion if you open for me or I get to open for you and stuff. And I just, I want to know, one, do you think I asked everything today? What's the one question your family wants to know the answer to?
I guess we kind of covered it, if it really makes me happy, because...
Does it?
Yes.
What would make you happy in LA?
I have
And
a question
what can
that-
they root for? What can we all root for?
Can I ask the
for
question that I've
Happy
been holding
Haley
on
in
since
LA?
the beginning
Yeah,
of the
but
show?
better answer Happy Haley in LA
Okay,
first.
go ahead, Happy Haley in LA. Okay.
Happy Haley in LA.
That's good.
I guess consistently being on shows not like dropping out like for a whole month after a whole month and being like, I can't do this. What am I doing? This sucks. Everybody sucks. But I don't think, I think just like being able to feel comfortable and like I'm at home and like I'm not just reaching for a dream that'll never come true and constantly just be depressed and struggling for money.
Yeah.
I guess struggling for money would make me pretty unhappy, but I like.
God, I didn't want that to be the theme of today's episode. You know,
I mean, not like. I know that's part of it.
You might have been hungry for some money before.
Yeah.
And I think it's the thing I've hidden the most from my friends and family, and they know the most, is how broke this thing can make you, and how. How much value people get out of it regardless of the money.
Right.
I do this without, I don't have any money today. I'm here today, gladly talking to you.
Yeah.
I look forward to doing it again next week.
Totally.
I look forward to doing it because it's just fun to talk comedy.
We should tell the people where we are.
Ari's Tavern. Come here for a burger. We had a really good burger.
Oh, you had the Ari's burger.
I came here early because we're always here on Mondays and the cooks aren't around. It's closed when we're here. And we keep saying Ari's Burgers, and then I saw the Facebook picture of the Ari's Burger, and I came over an hour early to a gig.
And it was?
Because it was damn good.
Amazing,
it was really good.
Yeah,
a big old patty. A big old hamburger patty.
56 Pecos
56
here in Denver,
Pecos.
Colorado.
They got beer
and they have great beer, and they also have chili fries that are amazing.
Mm.
It's green chili. It's not.
Oh!
So I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan. So, all right, we're going to take a look at some of your comedy.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Where? Oh, no, there is one good one. There's one good one on the internet. Where is it? Okay.
You're going to enjoy this. There we go. That's us.
Hey, hello. How we doing, Arvada?
Hello, Arvada. Oh, sorry.
Ooh, I'm one of you. I'm an Arvadan. Sorry if I'm walking around a little funny tonight, you guys. Recently, I found this huge hole in the crotch of my birthday suit. It doesn't really end. So since then, I've had to carry around some pepper spray because it's a pretty good crotch hole. In all honesty, I think it is a big bummer that us ladies have to carry around that sort of protection anyway. It sucks. I mean, like pepper spray, a screamer, whatever. I think at this point in evolution, women should have developed some sort of built-in defense mechanism by now. Don't you think? Yeah.
The teeth?
So you're a Republican? You sound like you're running for Senate in Missouri.
I'm carrying a gun.
But no, I think it would have been great. Wouldn't it be great if we could just shoot pepper spray out of our mouths? Easy. Like, think about it. Like, some dude just rolls up in his creepy carpeted van from Boulder, hops out, grabs you by your arm, and you're like, no, I don't want to go with you. No, seriously. But you couldn't just do it whenever you wanted to. There'd have to be some real fear instinct that would trigger it. Otherwise, it could be used for evil and not good pretty easily. Think about it. At the end of my set, I could be like, "Oh, you guys didn't like my jokes? No, too bad for you." Problem solved.
Oh, that's sweet. I like that a lot.
Thank you.
What haven't ladies naturally developed?
No, right. I was thinking teeth when she said that. I was like, why aren't there jaws down there?
Right.
You use them. I mean, is it nature saying you'd use them cruelly? Come on.
I don't know, right?
Come on.
We've earned it by now.
There's no way to talk about this and win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Do you think there are too many open mics in Denver, Colorado?
No, I don't think so. I think they're pretty well attended. I think this past winter has been kind of tough for some of them. Like Kinga's has been struggling just a little bit because
Really?
it's been
People are going to put on more open mics. Every kid is seeing that they got what comes with an open mic. Let them put on more open mics.
yeah.
Okay.
You know, the kids who are coming here are going to put on open mics.
As you were saying.
You know, they're going to shut them down too. You know, if Kinga's doesn't keep up.
Right.
I think people live in Colorado, you know, they have the local bar. And so if the local bar sprung up an open mic, you know, people would find that in their way and walk away if they didn't like it. And that's fair.
We get a really good attendance here at Ari's. I mean, and they had never had comedy here before, you know, and it was the most amazing thing. When we came in here and we first started doing the show, the stage that we're on wasn't even here. And by the third show, the stage was built and we started doing shows.
Yeah,
out here.
Ari's fell in love with this show right away.
Yeah,
and it was tell me about what you think. I was watching the Ari's crowd load in. And so they three guys come in and the bartender goes, "Hey, we got comedy tonight." And the guys are like, "Are you asking us?"
Yeah, exactly.
Funny. Do you get that? And how do you know, especially at an open mic, how do you like to, do you feel like you win?
Like I win over the people who just
I'm Haley and I
like,
was
screw
funnier
around.
than you, guy who just walked in. I know, when I see them, I'm like,
Yeah,
I can't wait to win this little
Yeah.
guy.
Everybody.
You're
Definitely.
brand new though. Do you win?
I think so. I think
Good.
so. I mean, more prepared at least, unless I'm like the last one to go up and I've had 2 double whiskey cokes and I'm just a dickhead.
Sure.
Man, the crowd needs to watch out. If I've had 2 drinks,
Yeah.
we're no longer doing stand-up.
Right. It's such a dumb like misconception because people are like, oh, if I was gonna do stand up, I'd need to get drunk first.
How
You
much
have
confidence do you have? I'm asking
That's
too
all
many
right.
questions.
You have a day job, right?
I do have a day
How
job.
many times do they know you're a comic?
Yeah, I work with Christy.
How many times a day do they say, "Oh, Haley's going to put that in her act"?
Actually, not as much with this job, which is
Okay.
kind of nice.
Good. Okay.
I used to work at a real estate office, and they were the worst.
Yeah.
They just sucked.
People
They
think their
think
lives
they
are
were going to
funny.
be in the act, because I bet you hear
A
that
lot of,
all the time.
yeah, a lot of people think their lives are funny. You know, I have to tell them,
I
no,
know
your life is not funny whatsoever. I write jokes.
So the real estate firm, was it a lot of people saying they
Yeah.
were funny and you were going to use that in your act?
They didn't think I was funny. They thought I was really dumb, and what I was doing was really dumb. And
Really?
they
both- I
fired
hate
me.
them. Oh my
and then they
God.
fired me.
Oh my God, I hate
What goes
them.
in your act from work?
Who the hell were they?
Both
Can I-
Haley, then Eugene. What goes in your act from
work?
Yeah. How do you figure that out?
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
My persona on stage doesn't have a day job.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
I put in some stuff
And a
from
good,
work.
that's an easy way at the office to be like,
Right?
Yeah.
like, I'm here to put kid through college.
Right.
And
Sure. Yeah.
If you see me there, but I'm focused here.
Right. So that's, I don't, I never mention it, to be quite honest with
Yeah.
you. And I don't like people showing up at my shows that I work with.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't really. I want to make strangers laugh. If I can make strangers laugh, I'm validated. I mean,
Right.
I don't want to have to look at you, and the fact that I'm looking at you makes you laugh. That's how friends do it.
So what goes in your act?
Just my life, except for the job. I mean, it seriously is, except for the job. Everything that's in my show is exactly something that happened in my life, something that came to me in a moment, and I wrote it down. And it
Watermelon at the grocery store.
exactly.
The real story.
Watermelon at the grocery store is an actual real story.
Right.
And it's, I don't know if you've heard that, but yeah, that's an actual real
Yes.
story that happened to me. A little girl pointed at me and said, "I'll bet he can pick us out a great watermelon." She was like 4 years old. And like, there were people that, everything in it's like stopped. It's like you could see the blood rush in, 6 people all standing around going, "What the hell do we do now? Little girl just told the black guy he can pick a watermelon." And I'm leaving the store. They're all like, "Ooh," and I'm leaving the store like, "Man, I got to remember that. I got to write this shit down."
So yeah, that's right. Like, why or what?
Here it comes.
When do you know? Like I get why we think it's funny, but what? Can you ever quantify? I don't know what makes me always write something down and go, that's going in the air.
Right. I think Twitter has helped me a lot with that
A
because
lot of new comics say that.
Yeah, because it's helped me just trim down jokes. Because when I first went to open mics, I'd tell like a huge, big, long story, and at the end I'd be like, and this is why I thought this 15-minute fun story was funny.
That's the indie comedy business. Long form. We'll talk for a while. We'll put a punchline in, and we'll tell you how
Maybe
good we
it'll
are.
be funny. Maybe it won't. I don't know.
Did you read from a trendy notebook?
Exactly. Here's 20 minutes of talking, and whoa, there's a punchline. Oh, wow.
That took me so long to realize that like trimming the fat is really important. And with Twitter, you have 140 characters just to say something funny, and I've used so many of those in jokes because it's like a seed, and then I'm like, oh, that's why it's funny, and I can talk more about, like, branch it off.
I sometimes coach young comics, and I tell them too the exact same thing. It's like, even if it's working, if you've got a joke that works, pull some words out of it. If it still works, you didn't need those words.
Yeah.
The quicker you get to the joke, the better for everybody in the room. You're going to get those endorphins you're looking for. Crowd's going to get those laughter that they're looking for. Right. We're all going to have a good time. That's
exactly.
Yeah.
Twitter's and I'm at work. I'll like tweet at work and stuff, and that's how I get a lot of like tweets from my job. I was just sitting at work the other day in my cubicle, just so bummed out that I was sitting in a cubicle. And I said it's much faster to put your antidepressants in your tear ducts just to clog them. And I just thought of that at work, and I'm like, I guess that makes my work day a little funny, and because it's so awful.
What kind of cube do you work in? Do you work in a high cube where you can't see anyone, or a low cube?
No, I work in I can see
You're
the
tops
center, right? Of people's heads. Okay. And it's not bad. It's.
Yeah, I like the call center gig. I mean, I honestly, it works for the stand-up business because when you hang up the phone, you're done with the day. Nobody's going to call you and say, "Haley, we got this big ass problem with a client." You're done with it. I love that part of the call center business. So, young comics, if you're looking for a day job, get yourself in a call center somewhere. It's boring, it's tedious, but it's perfect for what you want to do.
Yeah. Me and Christy.
You don't have to think about it once you're out the door. So I think we're there, Chuck.
Well, we did. I think we learned something. We got a few goals out of you.
Yeah, for sure. They're getting more solid.
Put more sets on YouTube. Think about always. I think the next thing for people to do. We used to not put our stuff on YouTube, and now it's almost like, do you have a YouTube set plus all the other sets you're working on? Because folks look you up on YouTube after they see you.
Right.
And that's stuff you can do while you're here.
Right.
And it'll complement that. In between sketches and sketch videos, you'll at least be drawing your audience.
Right.
So even if it's just 1 minute and some topical jokes, or jokes for the season, Valentine's Day, whatever, burn that shit on YouTube. Right. Let people look it up every year.
I actually had the videos that you guys showed when I was on. I had this taken down.
Oh my God! What? Yeah, because so funny.
Because of us?
No, not because of you guys. Not because of you guys.
You're in charge of your own YouTube page.
Lord.
Make sure you have your own YouTube page.
But I'm putting up more stuff that I actually think is okay to show to people.
I was delighted to see you at the Comedy Club. You're very funny.
Thank you, Eugene.
And I'm sure you have something to say.
Oh, well, I'll tell all the comics that we have on the show that, we a lot of comics here in town. We have the choice of who we want to talk to. And we think you're amazing. I think you're one of the funniest young ladies I've seen in a long, long time.
Thank you so much.
I think your talent goes far beyond comedy. You're going to be huge in this business. Seriously.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on.
Chuck?
Rolling Rock, that's the last week of free advertising.
Yes, thank you. We're almost done.
Okay. You hear me, Rolling Rock?
You want to pitch anything? You got anything happening?
Sure. Yeah. Well, later tonight I have a show at Leela's.
That won't help you because we're not live.
Oh. Okay. Well, never mind.
Sorry.
All right. Well, on Wednesday I have a show at El Chorito at 8.
It don't matter. We didn't press record.
We didn't record this.
Oh no.
No, we're good.
Whatever you do, don't say fuck.
Yes,
we're
please,
trying not
because
to
we're
say
trying
that
not
when
to
we
cuss on the
broadcast.
show. Oh my God. Anyway, so
I'm done.
all right, you done, Chuck? You pushing anything? You want to say hello, goodbye? to
Oh
everybody?
yeah, I have a movie, 1 hour special, another special. Go to chuckroy.com. Tom Martino said my webpage looked good today.
Oh yeah, you're on Tom
I
Martino
was
today.
pretty stoked today.
Really?
Yeah.
Check out
off air,
chuckroy.com.
he was
I like your
your
webpage.
website's looking really
I
good.
like
You
your
designed
website.
that? And I was like, yeah. And he didn't believe me that I designed
Sweet.
it.
All right. And come on down to Ari's Tavern, 5686 Pecos. Get yourself an Ari's burger,
Yeah, tell
some
them the
chili
EUGE show
fries.
sent
Yeah, tell them the EUGE show sent you.
This is awesome. Thanks,
This is very
Eugene.
cool. And good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Yay.
Yeah.
Scene.
Scene.
And scene.